Welcome to our meditation session for today. I'll let you get settled in. Once you've pressed the play button, of course, might give you a few moments here to just find your position, start to become relaxed. You might find any supports that you need, props under your knees or your back, to rest into the space that you'll be seated in for the next half an hour or so. And once you begin to settle in, finding your sit bones, finding your spine, nice tall spine up towards your shoulders. And just let your shoulders relax down and away from your ears. Finding your hands resting to your lap, your thighs, or even just in front of you with one hand resting into the other. And as we begin the practice, it's also good to notice how your head is positioned, feeling that your head is balanced nicely on top of your spinal column, so that you don't have to worry about trying to balance or hold it during the practice. Then notice your face. Your eyes might be gently closed or just softened to a focal point out in front of you. And your lips soft. Your cheeks relaxed. And we begin our practice by noticing our breath. Just really noticing where you're breathing in your body. Maybe it is where those places of sensation are, where your clothing brushes up against your skin with each breath. Just notice for a few moments here. The connection of our breathing is a focal point through our practice. When your mind begins to wander or think about other things, always try to bring your focus back to your breathing. And let's practice a three-way breath practice, just to clear out any energy through the body that needs to be cleared, and invite in energy that needs to be invited in. And we do this through our breath practice. So first, exhaling all remaining air in the lungs. Now to breathe into your belly. Feel your belly expand as big as a balloon. Once it's full, just linger for a moment and then slowly let the air out. Lingering for a moment at the bottom before we breathe into the chest, the lungs expanding as big and as wide as your chest can expand. There's that little pause at the top, and then the slow release all the way out. gentle pause at the bottom. And then we start to fill up through the spine, lengthening your body upwards. That little pause at the top, and the exhale, that return to neutral space. Then we breathe into the belly. And release. Breathing into the rib cage. And all the way out. Then into the spine, nice and tall. And letting go. Into your belly. And out. Your rib cage. And that return to center. Your spine. And out. Into your belly. And the release. Your rib cage. And out. Your spine. Letting down. One more round into the belly. And out. Your rib cage. And out. Your spine. Letting down. And just breathing at your own steady rhythm. Good. To notice in our breath practice this subtle heightening of sensation through the body, this reoxygenation of the blood, the cells, through the brain, through the entire body. You can always come back to a breath practice if you feel distracted or need to recenter. As you find your slow, rhythmic breathing, we'll enter into some moments of guided meditation, visualizing the spaces that are created. And your mind may wander in different directions, but see if you can bring yourself back to this moment of my voice, of what I'm saying. Always trying to bring yourself back into this moment. Beginning to visualize that you are in a forest of trees, that in this forest of trees there is a pathway wide enough for you to walk down and through. The ground is easy to walk on. It's flat enough, and there are no obstacles. You're able to move effortlessly through and along this pathway. You might notice the sounds of birds or creatures up in the treetop canopy. Maybe there are squirrels or chipmunks. To notice how the light shines down through the trees, bringing your complete focus and attention to this pathway, to the space around you as you move through the path, through the trees. And as we move further along through and along this pathway, you begin to notice an opening at the end of the pathway, a clearing. And as you move closer towards it, you notice there is a dwelling, a building, one that you have constructed and created in your mind. You notice its shape. You notice its textures and contours that surround it. You might notice if there is any other growth of gardens or shrubberies or trees nearby to it. Are there any windows in it? There is definitely a doorway. But are there other windows, or is it completely translucent, transparent? Your space created in your mind's eye that you are about to enter. As you walk up towards the door, to notice if there are any steps or if this building is completely on the ground. And as you move through the doorway, you notice the inside of your space. And the space here is designed perfectly for you. However you might have it decorated, whatever furniture you might have in it. Notice where these details are, taking a few moments to just visualize the space around you. Notice the light. Is it lighter or darker? Is it illuminated with inside lights or skylights? Are there flickers of light from candles, if there are any burning here? Any light sources coming within the space? You might notice the temperature, noticing the smells that might be here. And as we move towards a center space, there is a table or an altar. It might be against a wall, opposite to the doorway. And on that space are some mementos maybe of your collection. Whatever you hold sacred or dear in this life, visualize them here. Any photographs, remembrances. Now visualize a bowl. Maybe it's a Tibetan singing bowl or fashioned of beautiful glass. However you want to design your bowl, your container, this is where you'll be placing your intentions. Just notice its shape, its colors. It sits here elegantly and simply. And true to its form and design, it will hold your intention that you might set today. Imagining maybe a piece of paper, or even just visualizing an object, however you wish to hold this intention. Notice it. You might hold it in your hands at first, feeling the weight of it, feeling what it feels like if this intention were answered. And now placing it in the bowl, allowing the bowl to hold it for you, to hold its sacredness. And just letting it rest there for the time being. We now find a place in your room that you can sit. Maybe it is a place where you face a fire, if one so exists in your room, or a candle. And you find your seated posture comfortably. as you rest here, we'll take a few moments to allow our mind to completely relax, or relax as much as possible. Turning your thoughts inwards, releasing from any need to think about your intention or today's events. Focus on your breath. Focus on just being present in this moment. I will come back to you every few moments to remind you of this. Finding your breath, no matter what is happening around you physically, bringing your attention and awareness to your breathing, to the turning inwards. Slow and steady breath, finding the cadence and the rhythm of your breathing. Everything else around you disappears. Spiraling inwards of your thoughts. There is no beginning, no end, no past, no future. Just right here in this moment. Right here with your breath, with my voice. As you return your visualization back into your room, You slowly begin to move back around towards your table. The place of peace, the place of offering. And as you stand in front of your table, looking down at your bowl with your intention, held so beautifully, you begin to reach out towards the bowl and pick up your intention once again into your hands. And as you do, you begin turning towards the door, walking towards your door. With the door open to the space outside, you extend your hands, holding your intention. It has now transformed into a little bird, and it sits in your hand momentarily, looking at you. And then it leaps off of your hand and flies out into the forest. You see it momentarily perch on a branch, and then it flies off. To where to, we do not know. But your intention now is set free. It is released to the world on the wings of a bird. You now step outside into the world outside of your dwelling. And as you move away from your dwelling and you look back, just offering your gratitude for your space. This is your special space, always here for you. You can return here whenever you need to. You begin to just walk down the pathway again, away from your building, your dwelling, back out through the trees, through the forest. I want to listen deeply enough that I hear everything and nothing at the same time, and am made more by the enduring quality of my silence. I want to question deeply enough that I am made more not by the answers so much as my desire to continue asking questions. I want to speak deeply enough that I am made more by the articulation of my truth shifting into the day's shape. In this way, listening, pondering, and sharing become my connection to the oneness of life, and there is no longer any part of me in exile. I want to speak deeply enough that I am made more by the articulation of my truth shifting into the day's shape. In this way, listening, pondering, and sharing become my connection to the oneness of life, and there is no longer any part of me in exile. Richard Wagamis. and His beautiful words. We begin to just breathe a little more deeply, not opening our eyes just yet, but just letting your breath draw you back into the space of this moment, into the room or the space that your physical body is resting. Bringing to rest one palm onto your chest and then the other onto the other palm. Feeling that space beneath your palms, the rise and fall of your breath. This is the place of gratitude. Gratitude for sharing this time and space with each of us today. Let your mind be at peace, and your body will follow. Also, if your body is at peace, your mind can follow. Have a beautiful and peaceful rest of your day or evening. Namaste. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Thank you for joining me today in these moments. It's always a special time that even if I'm not physically with you, that I am energetically, and so are you with me. Have a beautiful day.